The impact of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 on the global economy has been devastating, affecting more than 185 countries around the world. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was hospitalized after contracting the virus, while Abba Kyari, the Chief of Staff of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari, died from complications following the viral infection on the 17th of April 2020. Economic gains have been reversed and global trade has shrunk, with sectors like hospitality and air travel among the hardest hit. On April 14, the IMF projected that Nigeria's economy will shrink by 3.4% as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This would be the worst recession in 30 years and the second recession in 5 years. Nigeria's dependence on oil for the day-to-day functioning of the country has put us at the mercy of oil prices and foreign oil markets, which have no doubt been negatively affected by the pandemic. Nigeria's oil revenue fell in Q4 of 2019 to 938.72 billion naira. The rest of Africa hasn't been spared either. African finance ministers are already calling for a $100 billion stimulus package, including a suspension of debt service payments to help the continent combat coronavirus. As at the start of the pandemic, Nigeria had only 5 labs capable of conducting testing. This number has since increased to 15 at the time of this report. However, with 75,000 doctors, half of which practice outside Nigeria, 180,709 nurses, and 25,000 pharmacists, a doctor-to-population ratio of 1 to 5,000 as opposed to 1 to 600, there are doubts about Nigeria's ability to combat this pandemic. Since the index case was first announced on 27th of February, both the federal and state governments have taken various steps to curtail the spread of the virus, with the presidency announcing a 14-day lockdown in the most affected cities from 30th of March. This lockdown was extended by another 2 weeks and will be eased from 4th of May. Subnational responses have varied, with states taking actions ranging from closing down schools and asking civil servants to stay home, to setting up isolation centers, purchasing ventilators, working with the NCDC to help in contact tracing. Northern states have taken to repatriating homeless Almajiri children to their states of origin in a bid to curb the possible spread of the virus. This strategy, however, risks dispersing the virus over a wider area. With infection rates climbing, Nigeria is most likely yet to reach peak infection, and as such, the efficacy of the various safeguards, the timing, and overall compliance calls into question the government's strategy in combating the coronavirus. In terms of ability to survive without help from Abuja, the Northeast geopolitical zone generates the lowest revenue from within, while the Southwest geopolitical zone has the best internally generated revenue. Looking at the fiscal and monetary processes of Nigerian states, Lagos, Rivers, Delta, and Kano are the states with the best economies based on their revenue surpassing expenditure. As federal revenue declines and the monthly FAAC allocations to states reduces as well, states with lower rates of revenue generated from within are beginning to buck under the pressure. Adamawa had to deny reports in mid-March that it could not pay its employees the improved minimum wage, and Gombe State has said that it will suspend paying the new minimum wage until when the economy of the state improves. Food security has also come under threat as the price of staples have increased. Companies within industries hardest hit by the pandemic have had to furlough staff or cut salaries by half. The CBN has had to review the exchange rate upwards after the naira hit over 400 to the dollar on the parallel market. With all indications pointing towards a recession, concrete steps must be taken to buoy the economy. States will have to generate more revenue from within. North Central needs to curtail the pastoral conflict between farmers and herdsmen in order to boost agribusiness, while most of the informal economy of the Southeast needs to be documented. It is clear that the post-COVID-19 world will be a radically different place, economically, geopolitically, and socially. It is incumbent on Nigerian policymakers, while having their hands full in addressing the current crisis, to begin to think of and prepare for that bold new world. How will Nigeria survive is the question that should drive the political conversation at the highest levels of government over the ensuing months.